Beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day in this neighborhood. Will you be mine? Could you be mine? I love to have a neighbor just like you. As long as you don't get into my business, I don't have to sue you. A beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day in this neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? What's up, boys and girls? How you doing? Your brother King Simon is in the building. We're broadcasting live. We're broadcasting live not only on YouTube, but we're broadcasting live on Facebook and also Instagram. Also, let me make sure I am, yes, I am broadcasting live on Facebook and on Instagram. Beautiful. And also YouTube. So big up to all my YouTube family, big up to all my Facebook family. How y'all doing? How you doing, family? How's everybody? I hope everybody's well. Happy birthday to the late, great friend of mine who I've worked with years ago, the one, the only Dick Gregory. Happy birthday to Dick Gregory. Today is Dick Gregory's birthday. Happy birthday to Dina. Big up to Dina in the building. You know, Dina Divine, that's what I call her, Dina Divine. Happy birthday to Dina Divine. Today is her birthday too. Make sure she all right. And I'm glad that she is doing her thing in Florida. So happy birthday to Dina and what she is doing. And however she's doing it, happy birthday. So she and Dick Gregory have a birthday together. Dick Gregory was one of the greatest forerunners for comedy, and I got to work with him. Did security for him numerous times, and I'm proud to say that he was a friend. And I had his son, Dr. Christian Gregory, on my show before, and I'm working on getting his beautiful daughter Ayana, if she's willing. She's a beautiful singer and songstress. Family, you know, it doesn't cost to share, like, subscribe, as you see here, and tell them to click the bell so they can be notified when I come on up, you know, because I want to come on up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be coming on up. And also just want to remind you before I bring on my guests in a few seconds, want to remind everybody that my next lesson right here on YouTube will be going directly to membership after I do the live. And it's called the Raw Ministry of Numerovation, and KSP Media presents Ancestral Conflict and Connection. Oh yeah, we're going to go in and have a good time from a numerical perspective, a numerovation perspective. And my next guest, oh, he's making a debut, just like this guest is coming on today. He's making a debut on my channel also. Zansiet Jevsna. And the title is The Journey of Spirituality and Being the Keeper of Ancestral Guidance, happening on Sunday, October the 19th at 3:03. So next Sunday, we're going to be popping off with our guests, our new guests, like we have a debut. And ironically, both of them come from IET. So big up to him and big up to my next guest that I got coming on. And of course, family, make sure you get your tickets. And young people are absolutely free from 0 to 17. Young people are free to my events all the time. Y'all know this. But this is going to be $33 in advance and more at the door. And you can go scan that QR code or go to my Linktr.ee / King Simon the Numerovator. I am celebrating 30 years in promotion and production. And this is the last production of celebration in 30 years. I'm not going for 40. I'm not going to 50 as far as promotion and production. I'm about to take a whole nother leap of faith into something else, reinventing myself. Although I'll still be promoting and producing certain things, but it won't be the same way because this is coming out of my club days all the way to my conscious days until now. But because your brother's about to take another leap of faith into something else, believe me, Lloyd Strayhorn is going to be one of my special guests, Joshua Sarah, Paris Williams, Mama Ella, Black Dot. Of course, the keynote speaker is Blue Pillar, Pope Pablo himself, 44, and Abundance Child is providing the food, all happening at Nicholas, Brooklyn, 1396 Fulton Street. And the sound bowl healing will be done by none other than the one, the only, Kofunya Ife. That's right. One and only Kofunya Ife will be happening. And also making sure you scan that QR code. It's only $33 in advance. more at the door. More than likely, more is going to be $44 at the door. So, family, make sure y'all come out to my 30th, my last production and promotion celebration, because I'm not doing any more. I'm creating a whole new thing after this. It's time as I'm entering the crossroads of my life starting next year. All right. So this young man that I'm about to bring on my stage, his name is Derby St. Fort. He is a retired NYPD captain, author, and transformative leader with over 20 years of service in law enforcement. Throughout his career, he championed innovative crime prevention strategies centered on wellness and meaningful collaboration with communities and youth. Today, through his writings, consulting, and media work, he continues to inspire change, promote authentic leadership, and empower others to live with purpose. Without further ado, let's welcome on my stage for the first time, the one, the only Captain Derby himself. Let's give him a well-deserved round of applause before we bring him.
Yeah.
My brother, how are you, sir?
Thanks, King Simon, what's up, man? Salute to you.
Salute. How you been, man? How's everything?
Great, man. I'm feeling blessed, feeling so thankful to be on your show today. We've known each other and supported each other. It's like family. So I appreciate this opportunity to bring awareness to the community stuff that I'm doing, the projects, and just overall uplifting the community and young people.
Man, let me tell y'all, family, this brother has also supported my books also. Numerology, and he's born under that 25 energy, so 25 is a metaphysic and a religious number, so they would gravitate to things like that, spirituality and all that. So I think it's very important. And even according to your numbers, to this year, you're in a number 1 personal year cycle, so it's all about new beginnings. You got your new book. You're not. This is your first time being an author, right?
So my first book. And I'm so excited about this. You wrote many books and I've purchased your books.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That feeling of having your first book and accomplishing that, being now seen as an author, and I feel like an author. And I'm just excited about everything that's going on right now.
Isn't it a beautiful thing being an author and at least being a part of the solution? And not a part of the problem through your art. It's not like it's street lit and they just talking about sex and guns and killing everybody. Now, there's a place for that, but I've seen, coming out of the 80s myself, knowing about the Shower Posse and all these other groups, these guys wrote books. These guys wrote books. I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And all the gangs and all the stuff. I remember, brother, that I was, they tried to initiate me into a gang years ago. And me and my friend his family's from Barbados, my family's from Jamaica. And we saying to them, you don't know our parents. We ain't doing this gang.
Exactly.
You don't know these Caribbean parents will put a gang whipping on our backside.
Exactly. So I mean, coming from Caribbean parents,
I'm proud of the journey. I'm proud of your journey. That's what
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Let's go back. Now, your family's from Haiti.
Yes.
Ça passe to all the Haitian massive, man. Big up to
Haitians.
Yes, Hispaniola and all the island of Hispaniola, man, because I grew up in neighborhoods like that. I remember going to Canada, living in and out of Canada. The Haitian massive was strong, and the Caribbean crew was all strong. Matter of fact, my mother still lives in Little Haiti, so she's right over there anyway. So when did you come to Haiti, or were you born here? Come from Haiti, or were you born here?
So I was born here. I was actually born in Brooklyn. Then we moved out to Queens, where I was raised pretty much throughout my childhood and young adulthood. But both my parents is both from Haiti. They've been in this country probably since the late I would say late 70s. So definitely deep history in my family history in Haiti, and also being here since the 70s. But of course, Haitian culture is embedded within me, even at times that I don't even notice. And as we talk about the work that I've been doing in communities, And also within the police department, it was always transformative. It was all about really empowering community. And then you see what I've done when we think about the legacy of Haiti as a whole as well. So it's just embedded within me as a revolutionary,
Yes.
and as a transformative leader. I embody what that looks like coming from someone with Haitian heritage.
You know, it's funny that you said that, because I remember when I first met you and I said, you know, you're coming from, we met over the phone, and I talked about you coming from the land of Dessalines and Toussaint. You gotta represent that, even in that, you know, like Be a Spook Who Sat by the Door. That's a good movie to watch if you ever get a chance.
Yeah.
And to really infiltrate and bring positive, productive things through. Although I don't believe any one person can change NYPD or any police department, but at least we can always make a difference and be able to be on one side and another to be able to support the good in what y'all have to offer. Although the history has been kind of skewed over the years, because we know in the history, a lot of the policy holders were the ones that came and got the slaves and carried them back. I studied the history.
Yeah.
So, I remember. And so for you to be not only from that revolutionary land of Haiti, and in that great place, this great space, having that bloodline, what was it that compelled you to get into the police force and NYPD in particular?
I mean, what compelled me, being a young man, I think, I was in college when I was actually recruited by the NYPD as a young man in my 20s while in college. During that time, 2005, we were going through like a recession. So there was like my friends were graduating college, weren't getting jobs, or getting jobs where I didn't think, why even go to college? You could have got that before entering college. So what I wanted was, although I wanted the freedom of being in the creative arts, I also did music as a kid, and I was doing like music engineering, etc. And that was like my true passion. But I also I was yearning for structure, discipline, and something, a profession that was noble, like the police department, where it's something. And I wanted to serve. So I had a lot of things in me. But for that time period, as a young man in my early 20s, the police department was the first part of this journey. And as we talk, we'll kind of see how the journey unfolds.
And family that's just tuning in and that are logging in, please like, subscribe, and share. Like I said, it does, to have people on that represented another organization in our community that is supposed to serve the people and all that. It's good to have one of the brothers who's now retired after all these years to be on. So please share and like, and the importance of being able to work together in any capacity. That's what make a community. So that's very important. And that's why I want y'all to share, like, and subscribe, and share it with your adolescent children, your young people, because this brother actually, his book is even about his communication based on a true story, his communication with a young person that also changed the mind and allowed him to open up and listen, because we don't listen. And big up to Queen Afua, who's done work in the community in New York for so many years. It's about being impeccable with your listening and being having discernment when disseminating whatever information you want to say to that person or what you're receiving from that person, because everybody has a voice. And I think your book really shows that everybody has a voice, from even the characters. So before I go into the book, because of course I got that pinned at the top of the chat, family. I got all of his links to his website and all that pinned to the top of the chat. Also, if you want to hang out at the retirement party, we got it there too. So a VIP retirement party. So going into the police in the beginning, I know there's a particular training that y'all go to and undergone. What was it like with the training, and were you receptive to the training, or were you a little apprehensive to the training? What was that all about? From about 20 years now, bro.
Yeah, 20 years. Again, I came on pretty early 20s. I entered actually the training, the police academy. I was 23, young man. July of 2005, I actually graduated 2005. So I go into the academy right after I graduated college. But it was a new it was a very exciting time, something new. I'm a young person entering the police department. I've worked in the past, but I never had such a professional career like the NYPD in the past. So this is my first major step into the profession of law enforcement, into the workplace in general. First major step. So there's definitely some excitement, but also I was nervous, of course. I wasn't sure what to expect. Police department, paramilitary organization,
Exactly.
very structured. And this is 2005, where they weren't as they weren't as, I would say, nice. It was very like direct. Communication could be considered like maybe forceful in how the tone of how supervisors and all the instructors in the academy communicated or talked. So that was something that I came in knowing, but whether or not I could handle it, again, being a young person,
Right.
Especially growing up in New York City, we don't like to be talked. Yeah, we don't want to be talked to anyhow. But
That's right.
it's something I had to adjust going into the police academy, and going against my natural rebellious. Again, I'm from Haitian roots. I already have a natural revolutionary and rebellious spirit. But for that period, it toned down because I knew that this was the first start of a major journey that I was on.
Now, I go back a little bit further with the NYPD, and of course, like I've told to you privately, that in the dojos that I train with corrections officers, police officers. A big up to my martial arts trainer Anthony Muhammad, who was also corrections, and Chris and everybody, and a few of the PD brothers, NYPD brothers from Tom, and all these great martial artists that are now like grandmasters in it. Yeah. What I learned from them and what I've seen on the street from when I was young, I almost got my head knocked off by a white police officer back in the 80s, because I was rolling with friends and we was doing too much. Put it like that, on Church Avenue in Nostrand. I never forget. I know exactly where I was. Church in Nostrand. We was doing too much, with the Korean shop over there. We was doing too much, getting fruits and vegetables for free.
Doing way too much.
Way too much. And that's the adolescence of us. Like, we all go through it sometime. So knowing that you joined the NYPD at a certain time, at a young age, when we're coming out of Louima, coming out of what happened to the Dorsey family, another Haitian brother that happened from back in the day. Matter of fact, I know his brother, Bigger Haitian, was a reggae artist with me. Good friend of mine. We used to perform together when I was a reggae artist back in the 80s. So coming out of those things that has happened to, unfavorable things that happened to our people, how did you feel when you finally got that police badge? Did you go in there with an intention to make a difference, or it was just a job that you wanted to get into and you just felt, to get to work? What's going on?
So during that time, because of a lot of things that were happening in the city, with the several interactions, negative press between the police and community, fresh off of 2001, 9/11. So there was a lot of things happening in the city, and there was a major shift in the city and in that time as well. And there was a big push the NYPD was doing to create a more diverse department. So in fact, in 2005, July 2005, my class at that time was one of the biggest classes, probably the biggest during that time, and one of the most diverse. So they celebrated that. So I came in a department feeling like, okay, I'm entering a new phase of the NYPD where inclusion and equity and diversity was something they spoke about and they wanted. So I felt I was part of some like shift within law enforcement. So I was, although there was apprehension and a little bit of anxiousness, but I felt like I was entering a new thing when it comes to police and community at the time.
Powerful.
Yeah.
No. I mean I knew a few people. Like I said, my brother Troy just passed on. Troy, he just passed on. He was an officer from the 32nd precinct. When I used to be in Islam, I used to set up right there, sell my oils and all that kind of stuff in the 80s, going into the 90s. So a lot of officers like Wheeler and Caulfield, these guys, I remember they was always good friends. They always treated, they even bought incense from me, man, and oils.
Yeah.
You know, they supported, you know, and I always recognize the melanated brothers and sisters in there that was doing. Sometimes I ran into them in parties. Sometimes they were doing extra work, you know, security. You know, they do security, bodyguard work, and all that kind of stuff. I used to do bodyguard work and security, so I totally get, you know, the things of going into some place like that. Did you find some other? Did you notice any other Haitian brothers or Caribbean brothers and sisters coming into the that time when you was there? I know Asians, Spanish, everybody was coming in at that time.
So even with my class, because it was so diverse, and all the classes a little bit before and after, you know, there was a lot of people from the Caribbean community, Caribbean background, Haitian, Jamaican, and because of where they placed me, within the communities they placed me, I was actually placed in Brownsville. I saw many.
Wow.
And whether it was intentional, I believe it was intentional. I even saw more people of color, Black American or whether Caribbean background within within the neighborhoods facing the most challenges. So as being sent to Brownsville was my first neighborhood that I served as a young officer. I saw other Haitian officers, Caribbean officers, and other, you know, Black officers and officers of color overall. So my viewpoint from where I was placed and from my lens, the department looked very diverse because even my commander was my commanders were Black. But sometimes it's because of where you're placed in assignment.
Of course.
Because it's almost a different job based on where they put you. It's a completely different experience. But that initial assignment being in Brownsville, I think it was key for me to develop this confidence as a young officer of color, because I saw other officers of color there and also supervisors, whether it was my lieutenants, sergeants, and even the highest person in the building, the captain, was a Black man. And shout out to Corey Pegues.
Yeah, big up to Corey, man. And you know, that's interesting because, you know, that's the never ran, never will, Brownsville. That was our slogan, the brother slogan back in the day. Big up to Mike Tyson from there. Big up to a few of the great boxers and Zab and all the rest of them out there from all that, the pink houses, all them areas, even Brownsville into those areas. So, you know, big up to all of that, because I know I used to roll through there myself and go into those big projects off of there. And then I was dating a girl over there, so or just getting myself in trouble back in the day. But big up to her, wherever she is.
He was a young man, so right.
Hey, I was getting myself in trouble. Believe me. Nobody never stepped to me out there, because I always knew how to blend in, because I've been from Flatbush, Crown Heights, all these places, you know, all of that. So, you know, moving forward now, especially to writing this book that you have, I want to make sure we definitely feature and highlight the book. In the basis of the story, which I'm finding out it's called Captain Derby's Promise. And I think that's very interesting. Let me just show the website real quick while we're here. Let me show the website, because I do have the website. I want people to see that this brother is very serious about what he wrote and why this is so important for our people to purchase and show our children that there is positive things happening, no matter what we're seeing in the media. Because I was there during the era of Giuliani and all the and David Dinkins and all the rest of them back in the day. I've been there since I'm born in Brooklyn. So 67, I was born. So I was there from a lot of the things that have been happening. Martin Luther King got killed the next year after I was born. So there's a lot that happened. I was there. So watch it. So, looking at his books, he says in 2020, a year filled with challenges and calls for justice, Captain Derby and Jasmine discovered how courage and kindness can spark hope. Captain Derby's Promise is a heartfelt children's story about empathy, resilience, and the power of using your voice to inspire change. Set during the COVID-19 pandemic, I call it plandemic, and a worldwide protest, it reflects how even in certain times, people found strength and compassion. Let's stay right there. Yeah. Now, during COVID, my brother, was very, very tense moments. People was dying off. There was trucks filled with people, and people was dying in respiratory. What was this connection like with this young person, Jasmine? Jasmine means a pretty flower, a beautiful flower in Arabic. What was that connection between that and why for you to inspire you to write this book?
Yeah. So 2020 represents challenging times, not only in New York City, but in the world, in the nation. Again, COVID-19, then we had the murder of George Floyd. Or the unaliving of George Floyd. But those were challenging times in New York City. And also those were times where many of us became something new. So I think that's a year of transformation, or the catalyst. Also for me, so this book represents not only community transformation, but it represents individual transformation. So there was a shift in myself and how I saw the world and how I viewed myself, but there's also a shift, as a collective in the world. So that year was a powerful year for me in my career, and someone that helped me shift during that year was this young girl that I write about in the book. Her name is Jasmine, and that's a fictional name, but but she represents a real person that I interacted with. So that time was again a challenging time, and I ended up meeting Jasmine at a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest. This is a young girl who has had tremendous courage, was extremely bold, and approached me at a protest and challenged me in how I saw that protest that day, but also how I saw policing, how I viewed my role as an officer, as a captain of the NYPD, and giving me some awareness of the experiences of young people during that challenging time.
Stick a pin right there. What was the protocols before you got there to meet that sister before, and what was the police protocols? If you can say it, you can say it. If you can't say it, but please, what was the protocols? Because we know that the officers in law and military, paramilitary are given protocols on how to deal with people. So what was the protocol going before you met that sister and started listening?
So there were straight up protocols as far as how to handle protests, keeping distance, using barriers, making sure we have
cropping.
As much officers as possible, calling for additional officers, etc. But there was also informal protocols in how they viewed protesters. So protesters were seen as especially the Black Lives Matter protesters within the NYPD, they saw them in a very negative light, as almost like a hate group. Although I didn't see that, and at the time, when we would get trainings and stuff, they would pretty much use that type of language and how they define them. But again, in 2020, there was already a shift happening in how I saw things as we go into Jasmine. And I really saw this disconnect between what I was being told and what I was what was my own personal beliefs. And again, when I talked about my Haitian spirit, it started almost coming bubbling again, because I started being more aware of like everything that was happening in the world. So that time frame, there was a little shift in who I was, and Jasmine Reed had helped me just to really explore that. The Jasmine Reed, the young lady in the book, she helps me to explore that even more during that conversation at the protest.
So let's go right there at that moment. If you could remember, obviously you remember you wrote about it. What was the spark? What was it that Jasmine said that
Yeah.
really sparked you to really say, you know what, I got to listen to these protesters instead of going by what the protocol is saying and all that, because your spirit is already bubbling. You already got a revolutionary spirit for the people, like Dessalines, like Toussaint, like all the great ones from out of Haiti. What was it? What was the word? So what was a word, a triggering word that opened your eyes and sparked your DNA to say, you know what, let me listen attentively to what these protesters are doing and saying. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, she basically told me she didn't feel safe with law enforcement. In the presence of law enforcement, she said she didn't feel safe. So if you look at the cover of the book, she's holding a sign in the book saying, "Am I safe too?" And that was symbolic of how young people. She represents young people as a whole during that time.
Right.
But that and neighborhoods like Brownsville, she represents how young people felt at the time. So they didn't see law enforcement. Many, I would say many, didn't see law enforcement as an entity to keep people safe, but it was more based on fear and control. And that helped me think about, like, that conversation allowed me to think about like me and my role as a commander. And my and I mentioned the police academy. I swore an oath to the community. I swore an oath to the community, and wanted to serve and protect. That's what we said we wanted to do. And I started thinking, are we doing that to the best of our abilities as an agency? Can we do things better? And how do young people feel about that? And how can we be better towards young people?
Right. You know, and I'm glad that there was a pivotal moment, and you, especially as a captain, you was a captain at that time.
Yeah, I was a captain, and I just fairly promoted, so I was a young captain at the time. Yeah.
You know, back in '93, I want to go to a story that I was in the Nation of Islam at that time. 92, 93, I was there from 89 to like 89 to 95. And when Giuliani took over from David Dinkins, there was a time when Giuliani was there, was it Giuliani, then David Dinkins, then Giuliani? I think it was like that. Yeah. We had the Nation of Islam. I was in the Nation of Islam, and we had rapport with the police to the point that administration at that time allowed us to come and teach what we was taught in the nation called the proper handling of the people, because they knew at that time the Brothers of the Nation had a certain rapport with people, you know, how to handle people and deal with people without, we didn't carry guns and weapons. We just knew how to deal with people. Yeah. So when you came into the force, and at that time the mosque got attacked. The temple got attacked by the police, and we took their arms and their communication and threw them out. And they surrounded our whole temple. Yeah. So, you know, at that time when you got into the force, did they have anything called the proper handling of the people, or implemented anything similar to that?
I mean, we do get training in the police academy. You know, how to fight using your hands. Defensive techniques, etc. But I don't think there was a major focus that I remember in conflict mediation.
Okay.
So, you know, being in Brownsville, working in Brownsville, especially during that time, summer 2020. So we have COVID, George Floyd, a ton of tension between law enforcement and community. And what I was seeing that as a commander, that small interactions between young people in communities and officers were leading into straight up, like, you know, battles in the street where cops are getting hurt, communities were getting hurt. So, you know, it was a tense moment. And again, the I saw things that we could maybe do better when it comes to mediation
Right.
at the time. Um, and it was a moment that we have to reflect on and look at as law enforcement in this country, and how and think about, like, again, we got to continue to think about. And I think for the most part, law enforcement as a whole has looked at that time period and learned from that time period, and how important it is to mediate conflict or to find alternative ways to address community issues. So yeah, that was a powerful moment during that time for law enforcement to kind of evolve a bit.
And I'm glad that y'all did. I'm showing the cartoon that y'all have on your website. There's a beautiful cartoon. I like how everything is flowing, and
Yeah,
and let's go to what Dre was a part of. Why Dre? Because I see Dre, young man shaped by healing circles.
yeah.
Dre discovered his strength by sharing his story. As he grew braver, he began helping other kids feel safe, supported, and proud of who they are. What is Dre all about? Because I know what Jasmine is all about. What was Dre all about in your story here?
So as part of the initiatives that kind of spurred from me doing police reform work, I was involved in a program that pretty much placed young people into um, therapy or group therapy, or what we call healing circles.
Yes.
So this young man was part of a healing circle. Best way to explain it is group therapy. While I was a precinct commander in Sheepshead Bay, so I met Dre there. He's part of the healing circle, and he lived in a community in Nostrand Sheepshead houses, which has its own challenges when it comes to gun violence at the time, and also mental health, and just a lot of community issues when you look at uh, poverty, and um, all the stuff that comes in many communities that are under resourced. But Dre was a young man that participated in a healing circle, and who represents the young men that I actually was involved with while being assigned to Sheepshead Bay community. So Dre was in the book. He's a character that ends up transforming because of the healing through group therapy, and it's all about and the book just really highlights the importance of addressing trauma and addressing public health in communities. So Dre represents young people in our communities that are seeking ways to address the trauma that they experience through their lives, and he represents what happens when somebody like Dre receives that type of support, and how that can actually transform the community as a whole.
And I'm glad people that are just tuning in and locking in and sharing. We have a Derby St. Fort in the building. Make sure you go to his website, Captain Derby's books.com. Make sure you come if you can make it to his retirement party. They're gonna have it on through Posh. There's a VIP thing, so y'all gotta make sure if you're gonna come correct, because they're gonna be a whole lot of officers. I'll let you know that. Also, support him on IG at Captain Derby's Books, and also at Derby's _ St. Fort. St. Fort. Healing circles, because me coming out of a holistic community, working with Queen of Ford, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Africa, all these great ones out of New York and throughout the East Coast and also the West Coast. You don't hear about healing circles with police officers. And that is something that is, and I want family to take very keen consideration, because we don't hear that, especially coming from the history of what policing was, even in slavery, the policyholders and those that was tracking slaves and all that. Who came up with the Healing Circles program, especially dealing with in connection with police officers, please?
So at that time, communities like Brownsville and all the communities that were facing a lot of challenges with gun violence and other social issues were already doing what we call restorative practices, like healing circles. So healing circles is not something I made up, or I would say that was what I learned being in communities and listening to communities. Again, the conversation was about how do we address challenges, and public health was a big part of us addressing community challenges. So the healing circles was initiative that was that I was able to integrate into my strategy to help the community and to address all the things that were happening. So through the healing circles, we were intentional. And when I say we, that's myself as the commander of that precinct at the time, and all the organizations and all the community leaders there. Healing circles was a tool to uplift the community and also help address some of the challenges that young people were experiencing. But that wasn't something that law enforcement did at the time. So what was the major strategy is introducing alternative ways to address issues within the community. It was by collaborating with those people who do understand public health, who do understand healing, who do understand practices that maybe traditional law enforcement may not even know or unaware of, like the work that you do. So the goal was to integrate some of these practices. Not that law enforcement was doing it, I wasn't doing it, but I was partnering with people in the community who understand that work, and I was trying to make sure they understand what was happening in community, so they can really be intentional about helping the communities in the areas needed.
Let's give that a well-deserved round of applause. I never heard of it in my time, and for it to be initiated in the 2000s. And I got to big up to Eric Adams, no matter what people feel about him, because I knew Eric for years. He used to date somebody right across the street from my grandmother's house. So big up to him way before. And he was going through some health issues and consulted holistic practitioners like Queen Afua and various people. I remember coming to downtown Brooklyn for an event, I think while he was borough president, and Queen Afua was there and all of that stuff. So I understand that holistic methodologies and methods was crawling up into NY. When I seen that, I said, "Oh, okay, I got it." But I also used to hear it from the dojos of When Worlds Collide, or Professor Bill's dojo, or various other dojos in Brooklyn across the street from Shane on Washington Avenue, or hear it from the dojo downtown about officers doing things like acupuncture and all that, because we got hurt. We got hurt in our training sometimes, and we needed to. So before we close, my brother, because I'm not going to keep you long, the end of the meaning of your book says this uplifting story shows that true change can happen when we listen to one another, stand in our truth, and lead with kindness. Perfect for sparking conversations about leadership, resilience, and community. Captain Derby's promise inspires readers of all ages to believe in themselves and help create a more compassionate world. How important is all that you said on that bottom of that on your website? How important was that? Because it's about communication. Yes, no matter whatever position you're in the world, if you're a police officer, if you're a soldier, if you're military, I hope even military men are listening to it, whatever division you're in, whatever corporation you're in of the military. My father was a former Marine. One of my sons, former Marine. One of my other sons, Army, and I have I grew up with a police officer back in the 70s before he transitioned. My uncle Sid, who passed on in Jamaica. How important is communication from Derby's point of view to help find a balance between citizens and also military forces or paramilitary like police officers?
Yeah, I mean, Communication listening is a big part of addressing community needs. Historically, when it comes to our communities, we've for the most part been told what we need, been told what are the solutions for us. But when it comes to like actually listening and asking us as a community, what do we need? Sometimes there's resistance traditionally when it comes to policing and community. So what I chose to do was listen with compassion and listen with understanding. And I think, for the most part, that's a skill that we can all develop and move towards. But through listening, I knew that public health was a big struggle in our community, especially during that time and even now. And we don't, as an agency, we are not experts in public health. Yes, we're experts in locking people up. I don't want to even say if we're expert in public safety, because you can't address public safety without addressing public health. So we need to be experts in public health if we want to truly address public safety. But I would say we are experts in other traditional methods. But like I said, listening allowed me to understand the needs of the community, understand that mental health and public health was a need that they wanted support in. And through that, I was able to collaborate with other people who had the skill sets and had the expertise in public health and healing. That is important. Compassion, kindness, and again, all the work that I've done through partners like yourself who are committed to community, committed to understanding deeper issues like health and mental health and spirituality. And I'm thankful I was and I continue to be a part of this movement in community that centers healing and health and mental health and community wellness. So I'm just part of a collective that is pushing to address community issues from the core, and I thank everyone who's involved in that.
Right. Last two questions. Well, last one thing I want to say. Thank you very much, brother, for helping my youngest son, and to help him go through his, because sometimes familiarity breeds contempt, and they won't listen to their parents, but they might listen to somebody outside force. And thank you for helping me and my son's mother for helping him to bring understanding and being there as a listener, because sometimes we need those listening, because I didn't have it in my young age. I had to go to Islamic communities to get that male figure because my father wasn't there, whatever. But I think it was important that you and others came into his life to keep his mind right. No matter what he goes through, it's still his journey. And everybody got to remember this: it is their journey, regardless of what. It's what, especially if you have children, you want to control them and direct them. You could only guide a person to water. You can't make them drink, as that old saying says.
Exactly. So, and I have two boys myself, so I understand, and they're within their journey. And I know it's gonna whatever they go through. Of course we're there, but sometimes they want to have the journey and they want to make their own decisions, and that's the time we have to, maybe use discernment of how pushy we are as parents. And I get it, but but I'm here. Of course, we're all family. I'm here for you, your family, and I know it's the same coming back to me. So I'm thankful. Yes, appreciate you, brother.
And now that you're retired, brother, what's next? I see you got Set Squad. You're doing books. What else is up for Derby to make things happen? What's up for you, brother?
First, shout out to the whole Set Squad. So shout out to Jan Lou. Shout out to Mimi Fox. Shout out to Victorious, Eugene, Shayna, the whole crew. Set Squad is social entertainment and travel squad. I'm one of the co-founders, and Set Squad is all about uplifting communities through community engagement, events, mixers, networking, travel experiences. We just had our last event, I believe October 4th. We had a culture market Shout out to Monique from Nicholas Brooklyn. No, she's one of the, yeah. So yeah, there's an event coming up, but shout out to Nicholas Brooklyn. We had our last culture market there. So Set Squad is all about really galvanizing the creative, entrepreneurial, professional, and just all the artists and people into the arts, galvanizing the community to come together, share information, share understanding on how to start businesses, how to level up. It's all about cooperative economics, supporting local businesses, and we've been doing just that through our events and through all the support in our partners. So Set Squad is just my next phase of supporting community, uplifting community. So that's where I'm at when it comes to my next phase of my journey. I would say.
Derby, I wouldn't be surprised if you start a foundation. I think that would be important for you to start a foundation, because your frequency that you're born under deals with foundation and being very meticulous about what you do and what you want to do to be that leader. And I'm proud of your journey, my brother.
I want to say one thing, because we spoke about, you give me insight about numbers and numerology, and you spoke about the number one being a big part of my journey, and that meant a lot. And so I end up picking the date of my retirement celebration,
November 1st, right?
Yeah, November 1st, which is 11/1.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy, and it's at 1:00 p.m. And this is not like I didn't do that based on what you said. This is just it's alignment, and I was like, wow. And the first thing when I saw that the synchronicity, I saw 11/1 p.m. I thought about you, because you told me that those are the number that represents where I'm at. So listen, guys, I'm just saying that to say, listen, if you need someone to talk to about all the things that he has talked to me about, alignment and where you are in life, shout out to, make sure you contact
it is. This is my client.
This is not just a random ad. This is serious. What the young people say, this is no cap. This is
no cap, baby. No cap.
So 11/1 at 1 p.m. Simon told me that represents where I'm at in my life, and it the outcomes, and it was highlighted based on the date of my retirement celebration. So make sure everybody, it's going to be a beautiful time. It's also going to be a book signing. Everybody, November 1st, 1 p.m. is going to be at Gentleman's Factory in Brooklyn. I'm inviting the whole community. Come out. It's also going to be my book signing. Just make sure you RSVP. King Simon has the link somewhere on the YouTube.
It's pinned to the top of the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat again. More likely, I'm gonna pass through along. I told y'all what's going on behind the scenes with us, but I need to get a book signed, so I definitely need to come. That. But family, this is all the links here, the books to the VIP. Come and network. It's a network. This is what Set Squad is all about. Also networking and making sure that, follow them also on Set Squad. I was also on IG also. So make sure, I didn't put it up here, but I've been focusing only on him. But you could also go to Set Squad on IG and join their community. And so you could be networking your business. I spoke at one of their first event. I spoke at their first event in Manhattan. So I was there for that. I think it was the first one. I think that was the first one.
So you was at the first event. So
I got on the mic. Me and Monique was there. My cousin Shireen from Canada, we was there. So I enjoyed myself and seeing Jan Lou and the whole family. And big up to the daughter, Jandora, doing their thing, and my son Jordan doing his thing. So big up to all of them coming out and doing what they got to do to make things happen. Brother Derby, thank you very much.
I just want to say one thing. Make sure you guys get the book. The book is now available on Amazon. Just put in Captain Derby's Promise, and it's also on my website. So you can cop the book on Amazon, get the book on Amazon, and also on my website, CaptainDerby'sBooks.com. That's CaptainDerby'sBooks.com. Available now, hardcover and paperback.
That's right. There it is, family. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful. Look at all of the colors that they have. Captain Derby's Promise. Now, Captain Derby's about to retire, so y'all gonna have a whole new promise. My brother, thank you very much for coming on, man. And be safe, be great. I'll see y'all when I get to New York. All right, peace and love.
Salute to you. Salute.
Yes, salute to you, sir. All right, take care.
Take care.
All right, that's my brother. Let's give him a round of applause again. Let's welcome great show, man. Follow him. Captain Derby's books, IG. Captain Derby Derby _ St. Fort. A Set Squad. Make sure y'all go to Set Squad and on IG also and support them. They're doing great works in the community, man. Networking and vibing with everything and bringing the vibe. They was just at Nicholas recently, so big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. I hope provided the space for them. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. Of course, that's my place. You know, I've been building that place for many years. I know Nicholas Brooklyn's father since 1985. I've known the founder of it since 1985. Another place that helped me grow to become a better Negro in this society, because they also allowed me to vend and buy products from them when they was in Manhattan over there 14th Street. So they helped me to grow to be a better Negro. So big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. And remember, family, I am celebrating 30 years in the business right there back home at Nicholas. And I'm even going down to SOBs to hang out that weekend also. But SOBs is one of my stomping grounds of where I grew up at as far as doing promotion professionally. I've been doing promotion since 12 years of age, but professionally started in 1995 at SOB's nightclub. Professionally, when I got paid doing major places like Palladium, and then moved on to Temptations and doing the big reggae Car Fest and all that. My big 30 years. Abundance Child and Blue Pill are the keynote speakers for the 15th of November and the 16th of November. That's a Saturday and Sunday. Lloyd Strayhorn is one of the special guest speakers. Poet and entrepreneur Joshua Sarah, a mathematician, will be there. Paris, entrepreneur and tarot advisor, will be there. Mama Ella, spiritual advisor, will be there speaking. Black Dot gonna have his books and everything else over there at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Drop Squad Kitchen will be providing the food for both days. And tickets are only $33. That's a master number healing. So come on out. More at the door, more likely it'll be 44 at the door. So make sure y'all come on out. Each day is $33 each day. So if you can come out, and young people are free, youth are free from 0 to 17 years of age. So come on out to my big celebration. 30 years. This will be the last one I'm doing in regards to promoting and production, because I'm about to step it up with my numerovation. And Set Squad will be there. Set Squad is going to be vending. Also, Derby was going to be vending his books, and Jan Lou will have her jewelry. Can't wait to see all of them. Alignment 111. Yes, so it's going to be alignment 111. That's what he said, of course. And family, thank y'all so much for supporting the journey of King Simon. You know, I strive to be my best. Been a promoter since I was a child. I grew up in a nightclub. My father opened up a nightclub the year I was born. So after my father did his promotional stint and lost relationships and all that with my mother and all that, my cousin took over. Rob West took over. Then I took it to the next level. Got on radio, got on television, got on major stages. I took it to the next level because we're supposed to take it to the next level in promotion. So this day is going to be a very important part of my growth. Blue Pill even being there, his birthday is November 14th, and him and I did something with Dr. Sabi on November 14th, 2009. He was a part of that launching of his 7 Heaven CMOS at that time. So Blue Pillar being there and confirming that he'll be there was heartfelt for me. I tried to get Dr. Sabi's wife, but she can't make it. Abundance Child being there because she was also there with me on that day when Dr. Sabi, the pivotal moment when Dr. Sabi came into Brooklyn, 500 people strong, 400 to 500 people strong at St. Anthony's Baptist Church. And people talk about it, but we be about it. We've been doing this, you know, and people don't know the background behind everything that we do. My next lesson coming up right here on YouTube is going to be this: ancestral conflict and connection. I'll be breaking down the numbers and explaining what I have learned around ancestral conflict and connection. There's a duality because sometimes your own ancestors can be in conflict with each other. because they didn't agree with each other on this planet. They didn't agree with each other in this realm, and they might not be agreeing with each other. And then in relationships, you might have an ancestor that don't agree with the partnership that you're in, and vice versa. So you got to also be willing to be of discernment and be clear in your awareness with ancestors. So I'm going to break that down in this lesson, ancestral conflict and connection. Coming up sometimes this week, definitely. I ain't put it up. Just make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And for the first time coming up on my show, making his debut at King Simon KSP TV Media on YouTube, Zanset Jesna. He's a Haitian brother, Haitian spiritualist. The journey of spirituality and being the keeper of ancestral guidance. He started his spiritual journey at 11 o'clock. Between 11 and 13 years of age, he was presented the keys to what he is now doing. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own business, his own botanica, all that kind of stuff. October 19th is going to happen right here, Sunday, October 19th at 3:03 p.m. And let's go to some of my sponsors. Big up to highheelsapothecary.com. If you want botanicals that support the healing of the body, contact highheelsapothecary.com. Also, if you want to book a session with me, text me your full name, date of birth, and email to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And seniors, new seniors, 40% discount rate for 30 and 60-minute sessions. You can get a discount if you're 60 years and older. This is for you. All those people that are part of my membership, whether it's Patreon or YouTube, you can get a 20% off until November 1st. Make sure you also get all my books and everything through Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerator. Big up to also the one, the only Joy, Divine Love, Chakra Wellness, 7-day detox. She is one of my sponsors here, providing some great drinks and juices for me. Make sure y'all go to beacons.ai/I am vegan vixen. Also, big up to the psychoanalysis that I will be breaking down by myself in part 1, but part 2 and part 3, I will have people that are in the field of psychoanalysis come on my show, and we're going to talk about it from another level. So look out for that. And that's going to exclusively be on my YouTube channel and my membership at Patreon only. All right. Also, remember, this book is about to come out. Numerovational Relationship Chronicles and Workbook is coming out very soon. I got Joshua Sarah on the graphics. We're going to be doing the editing and all that kind of stuff, the ebook, and then the hard book is coming out also. Big up to brother Ashwa Kwesi and his beautiful wife, sister Mira Kwesi, 214-373-10206. If you want to book a trip, a historical educational tour to Kemet or Egypt, they are doing it big. Make sure you contact them. Remember, the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn, 10% off all retail purchases if you go to Nicholas Brooklyn or Nicholas Cultural. If you want wholesale, call 718-858-4400. That's 718-858-4400. Remember, you can get all my books on Amazon right now or go to my Linktree/King Simon Numerator. And remember, hypnosiswithkendall.com, hypnosiswithkendall.com. Also, you can call them at 800-396 6463. 28 years of serving the community, one mind at a time. She's my hypnosis therapist. She's been helping me out, doing great work, some wonderful work. Also, I got to big up 340worldwide.com. Wait to produce a new flyer around her, 340worldwide.com. Make sure you support her. And big up to transitionalhealing.etsy.com. 2 great books she got up there, Grandma's Secrets and Know Thyself, to help you with yourself, but also Grandma's Secrets is about the well-kept secrets that your grandparents kept, okay? And big up to Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Make sure you support Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, numerologist, astronumerologist, and palm break consultant. And remember, every Tuesday, in the conscious community, Tuesdays, consciousness in the conscious community. We're going to speak about it. I got a special guest coming up this Tuesday. I'm trying to confirm it and make it happen. And we're going to be about it on today's consciousness in the conscious community. And one more person I want to shout out, New Diamonds, artist and oracle, handmade jewelry, crystal wiring, wire wrapping classes she does, oracle readings, astrology, birth charts, counseling, Reiki healing, and so much more. Make sure you go to newdiamonds.net or New Diamonds on all platforms and $ New Diamonds 101. All right, family. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Remember what Dr. B said. Big up to Dr. B. He just had another class yesterday on his YouTube channel, free class. Make sure you support him. Dr. B on YouTube, Dr. B Serious on YouTube. He says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And what Dr. Blair used to say, please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. My family, once again, make sure y'all support Derby and his journey and what he's doing. Go to Amazon, Captain Derby's Promise by Derby St. Fort, and show him some love. Did a great job. Great for his debut right here on my show. He did a great job. Big up to all the Haitian Massive or the island of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Big up to all of you, and big up to all my Caribbean, my American Massive, my African Massive, my people in England, everybody. Thank y'all very much. And remember, I love you because I love me. Peace and love. Take care.